This is Kendra Parrish with part 2 of the video series covering the stages of spring in Moosomin, Saskatchewan. This video showcases my observations in the second half of April 2024. On April 15th, I watched a pair of mallards swimming in a large puddle on the hospital grounds. That same day, I had my best ever encounter with a golden-crowned kinglet. This adorable little bird let me get very close and watch it fly up a tree branch by branch. The following day, I spotted the first ruby-crowned kinglets of the year, the golden-crowned kinglet's more common relatives. On April 18th, and for several days after, a fox sparrow visited my yard. These funny birds forage by kicking up the grass with their feet. A northern flicker also came by the yard, looking dapper as they always do. On April 21st, Gateway Nature hosted a litter pickup. While tidying the town, we observed a great awakening of beetles. We saw a 2-spotted ladybug, a 13-spotted ladybug, and a hister beetle. In the days since, my son and I spotted this tiny beetle with 4 yellow spots and the stunning bark beetle. Another exciting sighting on April 21st was the first caterpillar of the year, a bagworm moth larva. Bagworms live in cases they make from silk and dirt. You'll spot them crawling up the sides of houses. The same special day, we saw the first white-crowned sparrow of the year. That was the start of the changing of the sparrow guard. Now, almost all of the dark-eyed juncos of the previous video have left Moosomin, replaced by white-crowned sparrows, white-throated sparrows, and chipping sparrows. Today, I noted a less common Lincoln sparrow in the mix, too. On April 23rd, I was delighted to see the first dandelion of the year, and when I approached to investigate, right beside it were the first ants. They were medium-sized black ants in the Fuska group. Since then, I have noted 2 other species. These western thatching ants are multicolored and have some very large workers, while these light brown ants in the genus Lasius are all tiny. April 24th was another day filled with firsts. Twice I heard strange honking overhead and looked up to discover geese that weren't the Canada geese we're most accustomed to. There was a flock of snow geese and a flock of greater white-fronted geese. I also spotted a new-to-me butterfly species, Compton's tortoiseshell. I took this video of a Compton's, a mourning cloak, and a wide range of flies all lapping up the sap on a recently sawn tree branch. The same day, I visited a wetland near the football field. I heard this cacophony of frogs. I also spotted bufflehead ducks, a first for me. On April 25th, I welcomed the first warblers of the year, both orange-crowned warblers and yellow-rumped warblers. So far, however, they've been too high up in the trees and moving too fast to get any good photos. By contrast, the next day I encountered a newly arrived yellow-bellied sapsucker that seemed to love being on camera. I was able to observe it from very close by for a very long time. I also spotted the first mourning dove that day. And today, April 28th, I spotted my first bee of the year, a tri-colored bumblebee. The final thing I want to note is that so many of the birds that I was excited to catch merely a glimpse of in the previous video are now commonplace. I called house finches hard to spot and boasted about a singular pine siskin. Now house finches, purple finches, and pine siskins are daily visitors to my bird feeder. Similarly, in the previous video, I showcased a single red-winged blackbird that I photographed at a great distance across a marsh. Now, a mighty flock of them are in residence on the alley that runs parallel to Ellis Street. Most exciting for me, in the previous video, I needed to use footage from the Macaulay Library to show you my favorite bird of all, the brown creeper. But I took this video from my very own kitchen window. What will I see in early May?